Welcome back to Faye's Place, a podcast where dreamers have the liberty to dream. I'm your host, Phaedra, and I am so excited that we have this time to dream together. Happy Women's History Month to all those who celebrate, and in honor of this auspicious occasion, we will be talking about my favorite characters from TV and film. I recently discovered the HBO series Hacks, which centers on two women who help each other in their careers. My favorite character is Deborah Vance, who is portrayed by Jean Smart. Deborah in the show is a veteran stand-up comic who has a long-standing residency in Las Vegas. I really love her character because it shows a woman in her 70s still living out her dream. She is extremely successful and she makes no apologies for it. The writers make her witty, and her sharpness is often regarded as too coarse, which can hint on the stereotype they usually give women, especially around a certain age. However, I think her tone is a response of the battles she had to overcome and the ones she is still clawing through. One episode, she talks about the constant hustle that goes into maintaining a career in entertainment. She gives this advice to her mentee, Ava, and Ava in return shares it on a panel with another aspiring writer in the audience. Although it was written in the script, I think it's a great reminder for people in the real world as well. I also think it's smart that the writers let us in on the pressure put on women to keep up appearances. They showed Deborah applying Botox, getting plastic surgery, as well as going to the doctor for her annual physicals. There are a myriad of scenes of her taking her wig on and off, and they show the literal warehouse that stores her entire wardrobe over the course of her career. Talk about successful. We don't usually see a lot of films or shows centered around women of a certain age, so it's really nice when you come across them. Which brings me to the other show that I am totally obsessed with. The new Matlock on CBS, portrayed by Kathy Bates. I love how brilliant she is, and of course, the fact that she is still pursuing her dreams in her 70s. She's an attorney that enters back into her career because she is on a mission. I love how she doesn't wallow in her age and talk about all the things that she can't do. Instead, she uses it to her advantage, showing that being underestimated doesn't stop you from being valuable. She literally sneaks into a high-profile law firm without an interview and gets the job. Now that's inspiring. This show also has you on the edge of your seat, wondering how Matlock is going to get out of the jam she's in without disclosing her true identity. Did I mention she's undercover? Well, she is. This adds another level of her brilliance because she's working on a personal case while she's working on cases as an employee of the law firm. I also love how the writers highlight how she works with different age groups. In the show, she's wealthy, married, her husband is very supportive of her work, and together they're raising their grandson, who is also helping her with her personal case. Her co-workers range from people who are just getting out of law school to those who have been in their careers for decades. For the most part, she is flexible and able to work with everyone. But the writers also show how different age groups respond to different situations. I must talk about one of my favorite movies of all time, The High Note, featuring Tracee Ellis Ross as Grace Davis and Dakota Johnson as Maggie Sherwood. This film blends music, comedy, drama, and heartfelt storytelling. You know, everything that I love in a movie. I think that's why I think it's the greatest of all time. It's another example of women pursuing their dreams in spite of what society tells them. Grace Davis is a legendary singer who wants to put out new music, but because of her age, her team thinks it's best for her to play it safe. Maggie is Grace's assistant and her biggest fan, but is also an inspiring producer. She believes Grace should put out a new album, and she feels that she's the perfect one to help her achieve the goal. I love this movie because it's easy to relate to both characters. Grace embodies the pressures of fame, aging in the spotlight, and the struggle to stay relevant, while Maggie represents ambition, talent, and the tension of wanting to be seen while supporting someone else's career. The writers of this film tackle a real issue in the industry, which is artists often struggle to evolve creatively while staying commercially successful. Although Grace has the money to buy whatever she wants, she is stifled by her creative team. Maggie, who has the freedom to create, doesn't have the money or the notoriety for her music to be taken seriously. Each character has something the other needs, and we get a clear picture of why mentorship is crucial in the entertainment industry. There is a common thread I've discovered between Deborah Vance, Madeline Matlock, Grace Davis, and Maggie Sherwood. And that is, these are women who pursue their dreams not without challenges, but in spite of them. They readjust their thinking, use being underestimated to their advantage. They don't apologize for their success or their talent. They learn from women in other generations, and most of all, they mentor them as well. I would love to hear your opinions on the shows I've mentioned, or if you haven't seen them, please check them out and let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this episode and what we're doing here on Faye's Place, be sure to give us a great rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Be sure to tune in next Monday for another episode created with you in mind. I love you all for listening. Hi friends, it's Phaedra, and you are listening to Faye's Place. Join us each week as we talk to industry insiders about their journey and what it takes to turn dreams into a reality. Whether you aspire to be in the entertainment field or just inspired by the hustle, count this as your backstage pass. Join us every Monday for a brand new episode. And also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Faye's Place.